Alright, so welcome back, everybody. Last week, we saw you all still traveling eastward.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, last session, several weeks ago. We saw you all traveling eastward along the Evermore Way, traveling towards your drop-off point for several saddles, just one of the many different odd jobs and tasks you had all picked up upon leaving Tribor. And as you were breaking camp and moving farther eastward, when you began to get close to the large city of Yartzaar, you all stumbled across a pretty strange scene. Several winged beasts had been fighting over something between them all in the air overhead, and they came to ground with this item and then noticed you all, and discovering these to be wyverns, extremely territorial, aggressive beasts. They appeared worried that you might have come to rob them of their day's catch, and so attacked you all. When these creatures had either been killed or driven off into the sky, having given up on their meal, you all checked into what it was that they had been fighting over. It turned out that a young nobleman from Yartzaar had been encased in some sort of almost biological cocoon that had been drifting down along the Desserin River when it was plucked out by these wyverns. He'd been wrapped in this stuff and sent down the river when these wyverns had come to pick him out of the water. And when you finally got him out of that case, he knew very little of what had happened to him before being removed from that cocoon. He remembered a couple of things, that he had just been out enjoying a night on the town, and he vaguely remembers a woman in a purple dress. And as you all were conversing with him, going about your day, trying to get him back to Yartzaar, it became clear that he had been afflicted with some sort of strange sickness. Something had been changing his physiology, making him need to be submerged in water and to drink copious amounts of it. So after having secured him back in a cocoon of your own making that you managed to fill with water, he seemed to relax, submerged himself entirely in that cocoon, and did not come back out. And that is where we're going to go ahead and pick up today.
Did we get his name?
Yes, his name is Artan Rosolio.
And Rosolios are well off.
Yes. Frederick did recognize that name. The Rosolios are a very wealthy family in Yartzaar. While he didn't necessarily recognize Artan himself, or the name Artan Rosolio, the last name definitely struck. So, now with Artan quiet and kept away inside of that cocoon, what do y'all want to do?
So, I don't know much, but that's not normal. Do we give him back to his mother like this?
Well, if we can at least get him into town, the town itself may have various people with healing magics that might be able to assist him better than we can.
And
Okay.
if the mother sees him and recognizes him and sees that something's happening, she may look into what's happening and want to have it stopped. And not to be too mercenary, that's a job.
This is true.
And we want to help this Artan.
Well, and whatever did this to him, if it's doing it to other people, it needs to be stopped cold in its tracks.
So, if it was pulled out of the river, does that river let out into Waterdeep? Like, is that how they're getting down there?
What does Waterdeep have to do with anything?
Didn't they say that these things were washing up down there?
Yeah, that
Yes.
some of
Oh.
these various noble folks were vanishing from areas and then showing up in water.
That is correct. Your questioning of you mentioned the situation to Katha Moss Blossom back in Waterdeep, and she did mention to you all that it had been happening quite regularly. That noble people had been disappearing from Yartar and had been hearing rumors of them reappearing in Waterdeep. And she did ask you all to look into it, as Yartar is a member of the Lord's Alliance. And yes, to answer your question, Dandy, the southern arm of the Desert River does flow all the way down towards just a few miles south of Waterdeep.
But they
Well,
weren't
that's-
having cocoons show up in Waterdeep. They were just having these people who disappeared, walking into taverns.
It was the people that had been disappeared, having heard, hearing rumors that they'd been showing up there. She didn't really go into detail as to the nature of how they were showing up, just that they had been there. She didn't really go into detail if they had been sick or not, just that they'd gone missing from Yartar, and then they had shown up in Waterdeep.
It just seems smart that if they have to be submerged, just have them travel straight down the waterway.
Yeah.
Smart and dastardly.
Yeah, because waterways essentially are the highways of the land.
Well, let's go to Yartar since that's where everyone's disappearing.
Yeah.
And we have to get old Kukuni here back to Mama.
Okay, so you all
Are we just tossing him in the wagon?
That's where we had placed him last time, inside of this
Okay.
cocoon thing.
Okay.
He's
If
wrapped
I
up
remember.
inside tents filled with water.
Yeah. All right, let's get him back to his mom. I am not changing this water.
Okay. So, as you all approach Yartar, you can see the tall spires of the buildings, and it's almost like you can hear the racket coming from the ports and everything before you can even see much from it. But the first thing that you see is the tall spires of several towers kind of peeking up and over the horizon as you all approach. A lot of you would have heard of Yartar. It is one of the larger cities, if not the largest city in the central Desert Valley area. It is a fortified city, and it stands on the eastern bank of the Desert River. On the western bank is a walled citadel under the city's control. Between those two locations stretches a wide stone bridge. You do need to pass through the citadel in order to reach the city, passing an inspection, kind of like a customs investigation, before you can cross over into the city and cross the Desert.
With our friend. Okay.
So, I'll go ahead and transfer y'all over here.
Oh, it's pretty.
Nice city.
All right. So, as you all approach, you enter into a line of other such caravans, like wagon trains, individuals on horseback, several groups, enter into a line that appears to be approaching the city. There's a lot of people around, and the line seems to stretch about a quarter mile. Not enormous, but definitely will take some time for you all to get into the city.
Who do we have with a charisma?
Mine's pretty decent.
Okay, can you get the attention of a guard and maybe mention we have a medical emergency?
Yeah, I'll try to wave down somebody right quick.
Draco system.
Are we supposed to be at full health and spell slots and stuff?
Yeah, you all would have had an opportunity to get a long
Okay.
rest in
Oh.
there.
Thank you.
Oh, did we? I'm down channel divinities.
I'm down.
Well, let's get him back.
Let's see. Yeah, it would have taken at least a day to get from where you all were to into the city, so you all could have taken a long rest somewhere in there.
Cool.
I'll say, I think mine is already refilled, so let's be on the safe side.
Okay. So,
Okay, there we go.
So yesterday I would have emptied out my second level spells, and I would have dropped a lesser restoration on the guy in the hot tub, just in case it did anything. I just logged out.
I keep forgetting I have healing hands.
oh right, as the ASMR.
Yeah, I focus so hard on the barbarian part that I forget she's like helpful.
How
You're
how
so
close
focused
to-
on the unhealth care that you forget that you can do the healthcare too.
Accurate.
how close is he to a jellyfish?
Blech.
Go ahead and take a look in the. Go. You want to take a look inside the cocoon?
Yeah.
That's fine.
So Wyatt, you open up the cocoon, and he's kind of just in there, and he's fully submerged in the water, and he's kind of just looking around. And when you open it, he just looks up at you and waves from underneath the water like nothing's wrong. His skin does not appear to be any more transparent than it was the last time you looked.
Okay. I just give him a thumbs up and close him back up. Actually,
quite
before
content,
I can I like put my hand in the water and just kind of like feel how like does he still have substance to him, or is he starting to feel?
So you want to open up the the cocoon and kind of just poke him a little bit.
Yeah. Just like I'm checking his pulse. I don't know if they did that back then, but that's a thing.
Okay. So
And just kind of give it a little squeeze. Like what kind of
God.
resistance am I getting?
okay, he does feel a little slimy, but that's about it.
Okay. Oh, that's not too bad. So it feels like as if you're just touching somebody underwater, maybe with like mucus on them or something.
Right. Correct.
Okay.
Thanks for using the word mucus.
I mean, childbirth, right?
Human phlegm. Great. Thanks.
Yeah,
Great.
that's what I'm going with. That's what I'm picturing. Maybe without the red color, just more translucent color.
So with that, um, Brevin, you can in fact see a couple of the Yartzaar guard moving up and down the line, kind of just making sure that no one's causing too much trouble or anything. Would you like to wave them down?
Yeah, yes, please.
Okay. So they come galloping up towards you all. They say, "Yes, is there some sort of problem? What can we do for you all?"
Yes. My compatriots and I are agents of the Lord's Alliance, and on our travel here to Yartar, we ran across a man on the road who's in need of some desperate medical attention. Is there a way that we could bypass some of this line to try to get him treatment?
Say, well, there's lots of people that need to get into the city really bad. Do you all have proof of your association with the Alliance?
I am reach into my, I forgot if it's jacket or bag or whatever, and kind of dig out the paperwork.
I have a rock and it talks to us.
He looks over towards you, Dandy, and he leans
does.
down towards
I've seen
Brevin. Says,
It is a sending stone so we can be in communication with our superiors.
He nods. Oh, okay. So they look over the paperwork, and they say, all right, very well. You can get into the dignitary line. It's right over there. And it's another line, but it's only about half as long. Take you about 3 hours to get through it instead of 6.
Is there any
I'm,
way we can send the one person ahead for medical? We'll wait in line, but, you know, take this one guy in for medical attention immediately.
Who is it that you have?
Why, it would be Artan Rizzolio. He has been missing, and we found him on the road, and he's in desperate need of medical attention.
They straighten, and you see both of their hands go to their swords. Like, you have the Rizzolio boy. And then they both kind of tighten their grips on their swords, and they say,
Like,
kidnapped, last we heard. Quite the bounty on his return. How do we know you lot didn't just take him yourselves?
Why would we want him? Have you met him?
The one in the back kind of lets out this barking laugh when the one in the front looks back at him and he just shuts up.
I mean, it'd be pretty stupid if we kidnapped him and then just only brought him back. Who would do that?
People looking for money. Money's tight around these parts. Y'all could use a little extra here and there.
Considering we nearly were killed by wyverns that were attempting to kill him on the river to get river, I can assure you we were not the individuals who kidnapped him.
So, Brevin, why don't you go ahead and make a persuasion check?
He's also kind of thinking to himself, if I was going to kidnap somebody.
Well, all the more reason to take us to your clerics so that he can get medical health and they can, like, zone of truth us and we can swear that, you know, we didn't kidnap him.
Also, if it would make you feel better, I do not mind if you need to detain one or more of us while the story gets verified.
I vote Drake.
I wholeheartedly understand.
I vote Drake, he says.
I mean,
Andy's also going to give like a huge shrug and to say, look, if you're that worried about money, you can have my share of whatever the stupid bounty is. I don't care.
well, I mean, do we look like we need money? I don't think we look like we need money. She has a freaking sword made out of silver. Sorry, a battle axe made out of silver.
It's okay to be impressed by me.
So they kind of sit back in their chair a bit. They sit back on their horses a bit. They say, all right, get the Rizzolio boy to his mother. And then they start waving around, and the one that was in the back follows you and kind of leads you away. The one that laughed when you mentioned if anyone had met Artan. And they start leading you away. And as they do, he kind of falls back towards your wagon a little bit, and they kind of lean over on the horse, and they say, you really have the Rizzolio boy, and he's alive.
Yeah.
Can't say many people liked that kid, but he was always good for a laugh in the bars.
I can
It
see
turns
that.
out okay. You gotta forgive the captain. The Hand has been keeping us on our toes lately, and a lot of salaries have been cut. He was trying to shake you down a bit, but you know, he's a good man. He doesn't. Oh, I'm sorry that.
People do what they gotta do.
What? Wait, what's the Hand?
Is that something we know about?
The Hand of Yartzaar.
There we go.
Well,
What's up, Crimson?
we're not from here, so.
So he would say, Hand of Yartzaar, it's an all women's thieves guild in the city. There's a lot of people suspecting that they're trying to take control of the political situation here.
Wait, but they're thieves?
A thieves guild.
This actually sounds kind of awesome.
Gives
I'm
you a
just
look.
wondering how a bunch of thieves run a city.
Clearly, you haven't been to
Well-
Waterdeep lately.
What's the difference between a thieves guild and a regular government?
Taxes.
Accountability?
Wait, who has more accountability?
Oh, I mean, I'm just saying from where I'm from, you know, our politicians are actually held accountable.
I'm
He
from a
does.
matriarchal society,
Trying to be
so
like you.
I mean, I'm from Vasselheim, so, you know, there's also a lot of religion going on there, too, so.
Alright, so they get you up to the front gate. And with the company of this guard, you are let through. And as soon as you exit out of the other side, it's a very grand, almost like an outdoor cathedral. Lots of high arched architecture, and it's all outdoors as they lead you through it. It's obviously designed to impress anyone that comes through the area. And not too long after, you all find yourselves on a long stone bridge crossing into Yartzaar proper. Once you all get across that bridge, the guard who was escorting you gives you all directions, and he says, in case the Artan boy can't get you where you need to go, I haven't heard a peep out of him, I don't even see him. Where the hell is he?
He's in a cocoon of healing waters that my personal god has blessed, you know, to keep him from degrading more.
Right. Well,
Whatever's afflicting him seems to require
Lot of
Near-
medicinals in there.
yes.
yeah, he's a mess.
well, all right
More so
then.
than his more so than just personality at the moment.
So he goes on to give you all directions on how to get to the Rosolio residence. And then he bids you all farewell and heads back across the bridge to his post.
Before he leaves, how many guards were out there?
You could count about 6,
6.
And
just
what was his
patrolling the
name?
line.
I'm gonna give him a bottle of wine for each of them.
He's like, his eyes go wide and he says, thank you,
Not till
thank
after.
you, sir.
Not till after, right?
Oh, of course, we'd never drink on the job, as he's putting the cork back in.
What's his name?
His name is Sten.
Sten, thank you.
Would Sten lie to a healer?
So, as you all are making your way through the city, you turn around one corner, one of the corners that was directed towards you all, and you make your way down at about a block or two when you all hear a very loud crash, almost as if a thunderbolt had struck. And looking towards the sound and the sound of the commotion, a bit of mist comes kind of just drifting out of the alleyway, and out step 2 obvious spellcasters. One of them clad in bright green emerald colors, the other in icy white colors. Their outfits kind of bear almost a draconic air to them. And they step forward, and they kind of just look over you all until their eyes settle on Drake, and they're like, Drake, is it true that you discovered the worm, Imrith?
Yes, it's true. We met it. I ran into it when we were floating in one of the giant castles.
Let's come with us, Drake. You must be debriefed on the situation. It seems to be far worse than we'd expected.
I see. He'll turn towards his comrades. Well, seems at least for the time being we'll be parting ways. It seems something more urgent has come up. I hope you all the best. Stay vigilant out there, and hopefully we meet again someday. Until then, I'll be working in the from the shadows. Best of luck.
Who the hell was that guy?
Oh, we keep the pseudo dragon, right?
That's Frederick's.
That's mine.
That's Frederick's. Yeah.
You just see Flinch pipe up. I was like, wait a minute.
So the green and white sorcerers kind of look over towards you all and they say, "We've cleared this with your superiors. The Alliance knows of our intervention here. We'll be sure to keep you all updated with anything that we learn as is directed by our organization's communications with yours."
Very well then.
Say hi to Bone Grinder.
Drake will wave goodbye and he'll take off whatever items he had on him and hand it back to the group, saying, "I'm sure you guys will need this more than I will."
What items were they?
I don't need your underwear, bro. You can keep that.
He just hands back the creature shielding that he was using.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Just imagine.
just disrobing everything. You guys gotta need this. Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, now he has Dandy's attention.
You fellas have a rather distinct,
So the Red Dragon was just a stage name then. Got it.
Oh, God, no. Sounds awful.
Drake will just chuckle a little bit and he'll pull out from his bag the super strong ale he bought that one time in the inn. Like, "Hey, Dandy," and he throws it to her. "Enjoy."
God, I hope I catch it.
Oh, God.
Make a dexterity. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Wasn't it really tall, too?
Dex save throw. Dex save throw.
Oh, my God, no. Did you promise it?
Hey, Danny, just throw it over her shoulder.
So, Drake, you toss it towards her, and she fumbles for it a bit, and it's like juggling like 2 or 3 times in the air, and then it hits the ground, and the bottle is surprisingly sturdy. In fact, a little chip on the concrete.
You have
Cool.
to be
New weapon. Thank you.
you have to be a monk to catch a thrown object.
Right, only monks can
How is that?
catch. The sports
She
world is
wasn't
full of
ready,
them.
guys.
She was too distracted with Drake stripping.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right,
Okay.
and
so
with
took
that,
time, so what happened so far? Sorry,
I will let you know. I will let you know in just a moment here. But for right now, those 3 sorcerers, Drake among them, now turn and head back into the alleyway, and you hear that same crash of thunder and a little bit of mist, and they are gone.
Show offs.
Is it one thunder or is it 3 thunders?
1.
So he could teleport this whole time? That son of a bitch.
I think it was more his associates. Dandy.
Turns out Drake's like a fucking 12.
Oh no, Drake could teleport the whole time. Didn't you guys see he was teleporting during the battles all the time?
Right, the entire trio just teleported 30 feet away into a side alley just to look impressive. We get a quick picture of all 3 of them pop around a corner and just run away.
Might have been a good trick when that giant threw a giant rock at you.
Wait, can you do that?
No. Misty Step is not a reaction. That would be crazy. There's I think it's an Archfey ability that lets you use a Misty Step in reaction to getting hit by something, but it's like a once per day usage or something, or once per short rest.
BRB, guys.
Okay. All right, everybody.
Everyone to roof.
So, you all are getting pretty close to the place that you were directed to. You all find yourself in quite a large city. It's obviously very bustling. You've passed by several different shops and various different merchants and markets on your way. There are temples to pretty much every major deity here. There's of course also an All Faith shrine. Essentially what you would expect from a large settlement, one of the only large settlements in this immediate area. But not long after you all get across the bridge and into the city proper, you all find yourselves in front of a very elaborate house. It has been... You can very much tell that no expense was spared in the construction, the design, and the embellishments of this place. There are 2 guards out in the front who are very obviously private guards. They wear very different armor and insignias than anyone else that you have seen so far. And as you all approach, they kind of just look up towards you and ask you to state your business.
Do I recognize the insignias?
Crimson, you're back. So I'll just fill you in on what we've gotten through so far. So you didn't miss too much. But basically the party went eastward along the Evermore Way until they got to Yartzaar. Wyatt was able to check on Artan in the cocoon that you all had made for him and make sure that he was okay. He was having a great time in there, just sitting in there chilling.
Not dying, hopefully.
Not dying, not becoming any more translucent or anything like that. He was a little bit slimy to the touch, but other than that, he seemed completely fine in there. And when you got to the gates, the guards tried to shake you down a little bit, but they were easily talked past, and you were able to talk them into leading you towards your destination, and that being Artan Rosolio's manor, the manor of his mother. And that is where we are now. We're just outside of...
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So let's knock.
I imagine.
There were guards who said state your
Okay.
business.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Wait, do we mention the noble?
I would.
Yeah.
Hey, we found the kid. He's a... If you want him back.
Want her son back?
Oh, right. So
When-
they look down towards you and they say, you have Artan.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's
he's
in
in the
need of
wagon.
medical attention.
Show him to us.
Immediate.
We must see him.
Bear in mind, it does not look pretty.
We have him, but
Let him see them.
This is the
Okay.
condition we found him in. This is the condition we found him in as a trio of wyverns were attempting to, make mincemeat out of him.
I just want to clarify to the guards that we had nothing to do with the condition he is in currently.
Well, he would have been in worse condition if it wasn't for us.
He would have been dead, yes, but like his current
So-
position now.
His current condition is kind of thanks to us.
Oh god, sounds bad.
So you all open up the cocoon and let Artan out, or let him poke his head out.
Yeah.
So he kind of pops out, and he's still just like dripping wet. You can see he's got a little bit of a slime on him now, and the guards just pop out. And Artan just looks around. And he's like, "Hey, Bodrin, Lauren, nice. Hey guys," and they just step aside and open the gate. Like, get him inside, get him in.
That's not great. Ooh, you know about these guys. I'm gonna try to elaborate to Artan. If worst case scenario they do accuse us of sorts, would you vouch that we, in a way, saved you?
Oh, absolutely. You guys totally saved my ass out there. I probably would have gotten eaten by wyverns if it wasn't for you all. My family is so rich. I mean, just look around. You can see it, right? My mom will pay you guys so much for returning me.
Anyone else think his mom's responsible for him being taken away?
I would believe it. I would believe that. It's just being so annoying.
Mm.
Nobles are known for having multiple kids. I'm just saying.
All right,
Yeah,
so where's your
so-
mom?
She's probably in the main house, and the guards are just like, they nod. Like, she's in the main house in the guest hall. I believe she was about to. I believe she's just concluding up a meeting with some people, and the guards are like kind of whispering towards each other. And whoever is like whoever's bringing up the rear of the wagon, one of the guards will lean in and whisper in, just like, "Is he okay? He looks a little weird."
No, he's not okay. He needs attention.
Immediately, actually.
Medical, psychological.
We'll send for some healers.
Send like your best alchemists as well? Just as a question? So, more than just healers. Just bring everybody, yes.
Bring everybody.
One of the guards they start talking to one another, and then one of them takes off.
Yeah, I look at him as just as confused as well. Did someone just leave the chat?
All right, that was me. I was updating something.
Oh, my bad.
Okay. So, as they lead you, as you're all led into the house proper, a tall elven man steps out, and you see that he has his hands behind his back. He's obviously a guard of some kind. He doesn't wear the same like elaborate regalia of the people out front, but he carries himself as a definite person who knows how to use the two daggers at his side. And he kind of approaches and sees Arton. He says, "So it's true. You brought him home." He looks towards all of you. He says, "We will be much appreciative. The Lady Rosolio is inside. I'd be more than happy to accompany you. You will, of course, need to leave your weapons with the guard post here."
Sure.
Okay.
Can I?
Dandy's going to give the guards very explicit instructions about how to care for her axe in her absence.
He nods. He
All
says,
right.
"You have my word. Your gear, belongings, and your animals will be well taken care of while you are meeting with the map."
I walk up to him and I extend my hand and ask for a name.
Kamed.
Gesundheit?
Kamed. My name is Kamed.
I say that in character.
Yeah. And
Kamed,
he
right?
just says that back to you very straight, very flat-faced. Very straight
I mean,
faced.
are they just like expecting weapons, like my hand axe and a mace?
Yep.
That's weapon. Okay.
Okay, so do I have a quarterstaff or a dagger?
Shield?
Okay, you may not go so armed before. So yeah, just your swords, spears, anything pointy or sharp, basically.
I have a
Yeah,
dagger.
I'll leave my
Alright,
daggers.
I'm gonna leave my stuff here. Yeah, sure.
Don't sweat it, guys. I'm basically a walking weapon, and we have a wizard. It's fine.
I just wave back.
And Arton from the back is like, "It's okay, Kamed. These guys are totally great. They're with me. It's totally fine." And Kamed just looks up. "Yes, I'm sure." He leans in. "I'm going to need your weapons."
Don't worry. Yes, we promise. We're trying to get this kid as much as to you guys back because we don't want him at all anymore.
Don't we look trustworthy? Big smile.
You see,
About
smile
as
too.
trustworthy as anyone else that comes to visit the Barrens.
I don't know
It
if
seems
that's a
like
compliment.
it seems like the Barons get attacked a lot. That's weird.
It's simply that this man is a professional in his line of work. One can trust all they want to in it, but they still have to verify. Because it isn't his life necessarily on the line as much as those who he's hired to protect.
Right. Well,
I
all right.
understand it.
That makes sense. I mean, one's you lose your life, but man, if you lose your job, that's worse.
Yeah, basically the same thing. So I look back and all right, I understand, Kamed, and I reach my hand out again, and Frederick, you have our word that we will not cause trouble here as we stay.
I appreciate that. You all may enter. We'll take care of your wagons and anything that you have in there will most certainly be there when you come back.
Greatly appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Wait, what are we doing with the kid? Because he needs to be in this tent thing.
Kamed,
You wandered off.
Kamed is actually the only one that didn't flinch at Artan looking the way that he did. He said, "We'll have a bath drawn for him and brought to the main audience chamber. He won't have to be out of the sack and out of his liquid. He won't have to be away from the water for more than a few minutes."
You seem to know way too much about this.
He
and-
nods and he says, "You will speak with the lady."
All right,
Oh.
can I roll an insight check to see?
Yeah, go.
All right, yeah, he's way too chill about this. Okay, let me oh, never mind.
Yeah, not too much gleamed from that, but for, like, your initial intuition was correct. He was not shocked by Arton's appearance, and he knows what needs to be done in order to keep Arton comfortable once he's inside. So that much is apparent.
His poker face is impeccable.
Brevin figures he's either seen this man's either seen or heard of others in a similar condition, or it's something that's currently ongoing, or something the man's seen or heard about in the past. One of the two.
Probably. All right. Is it cool to ask Kamen more questions, or do we have to see the lady now?
He is kind of gesturing you along to hurry up, but if you have a quick question or two for him, maybe he'll answer him.
I'm gonna ask him. Kamed, so I heard rumors that more nobility has been disappearing as of late. Would what's happening with Artan be related to that?
He looks around, trying to see if any of the other guards are nearby, and when he notices that there aren't any others nearby, he does say, "Yes, it's not my place to discuss this in too great of detail, but Artan was not the first taken, nor was he the first returned. Others have returned with the same affliction that now seems to plague young Artan."
That's probably explains a lot. All right.
So there has to be a cause of it somewhere here.
Yeah. All right. So I just clap my hands together. And it's like, well, we shouldn't keep the lady away.
Okay.
And I ask him like, lead the way.
So he just leads you all towards the front of the house. It's a two-story building, large, old, fenced in, and pretty foreboding now that you're past the front gates. It definitely has like almost a castle-type feel to it. Inside, the manor is decorated with lavish paintings, tapestries, busts, and statues. The floors are kind of a polished mahogany, where they aren't covered by massive carpets. And gaudy chandeliers hang from the ceilings in far too regular intervals. As you're all making your way into the house, you can see that the place is extremely well guarded. As you're making your way through, you can count no less than 8 elite-looking guards in the same regalia and functional yet very peacockish armor that the people out in the front were wearing. After leading you all through this main entryway, Kamed brings you all around into another wing of the building, and he says, "The lady is currently in her office." And he knocks, says, "Madam, wonderful news." And then he opens the door, and inside of this very large library/office is the head of the Rosolio household. She is a sharp-featured woman of about 60 years. Her white hair is kept in a tight bun, and she wears stylish but practical clothes. And as you all enter, she says, "You've brought Arton home, then?" And then Arton kind of squeezes in between a couple of you. He leaves like a little bit of a trail of slime behind as he goes. He's like, "Hi, Mom." And she snaps back. She says, "Where have you been, you foolish boy? No, don't answer that. I will not tolerate your presence while you are wearing all of that dreadful attire. You look horrid. Go get yourself a bath and some clean clothes, and then we'll talk." Arton bows his head low and retreats out. Kamed leads him down the hallway. She gestures you all to come in, looking down at her desk still. She doesn't even look up at all of you.
I guess I'll just hold the door open for the rest of the party.
What's all in the room?
It is a very large office library. There's what you would expect. There's a few bookshelves, a few very comfortable looking chairs, a long couch along one side. The central desk is a massive mahogany construction. It is quite large, but it still does not seem to dwarf Lady Decia, who is a woman in her 60s. She's not exactly a large woman, but it seems the desk is designed to make her look more imposing than to be focused on the desk itself. She sits behind it, and behind her is a very large full wall window, floor to ceiling window, with a look out over the river.
Okay.
So, when you all make your way into the room, she kind of waves a hand, and the door shuts behind you all. She says, "So, I noticed my fool of a son did not have his family pendant on him when he came through that door. Do you not have it?"
Everything he had with him, he has on him now.
As I had feared.
Yeah, we currently found him. Wait, should we tell her about the whole Wyvern Incident?
How we came across your son was in our travels to the city, upon the river. He was held in some sort of strange cocoon-looking thing,
Drifting southward along the Desserin River, and when you opened it up, he needed more water than could possibly be sustained.
Yes, and he had a trio of wyverns attacking him.
I know not of the wyverns, but... well, he is certainly not the first young noble that has gone missing in recent times. In fact, Water Baron Nestor Ruthiol has been very interested in Arton's disappearance, more so than I had been. I had simply hoped to get the pendant back from that stupid boy. But...
what would the pendant have a value? Is this
As
monetary,
you
or...
as you ask that, the door opens behind you, and Kamed comes in and shuts the door gently behind him. And he enters in. He says, "He is comfortable, madam." Lady Rosolio says, just waves her hand. She doesn't even say anything. She just waves her hand in acknowledgement. And she says, "His pendant? He claims to have lost it, madam." You can see, like, visible rage boiling up on Lady Decia's face. She takes a deep breath. Says, "Well, we couldn't all have been born with the gift of moderate intelligence. Anyways, you ask of value. You should have it be known that any outlandish rewards that my son may have promised you for his safe return will not be fulfilled. He does not speak for House Rosolio. He likes to fancy himself our accountant, but he can barely even count to 6. By any means."
It's honestly not that big a deal. We just wanted to make sure he got home safe.
Yes.
Home safe he is, and home safe he shall remain. But, nonetheless, you have returned a valuable member of a noble family to their home, and such deserves reward. Kamed, get them 100 gold pieces for the safe return of my son. Looks down towards you. The more troubling matter, of course, is the pendant that he lost. A priceless family heirloom. You all look like the sort. Go
I'm
ahead.
just gonna ask Rosalia. It's Miss Rosalia, right?
Lady
Her name?
Rosalia.
Lady Rosalia. I ask her, shouldn't the life of your son be more important than just a simple pendant?
Have you met the boy?
He is still your son.
I have
Your
others.
blood.
Me of somebody.
Yeah. Just
Now,
like-
am I
if
mistaken? Go ahead.
If you don't mind me asking, what does this pendant look like in case we come across it in our travels?
She pulls a pendant around from her own neck and sets it down on the table. It says it is identical to this one. It is a disc of gold, about 4 inches, 4 inches across. So 2-inch radius
Pretty big.
sphere of little pendant, little flat circular pendant, with the Rosolio crest emblazoned into it. Doesn't appear to be extraordinarily valuable as far as just like the appearance of it.
Would I be remiss in assuming? Would I be remiss in assuming that there's either some sort of ceremonial or magical value to your son's pendant?
She nods and says that each member of the noble houses of Yartzaar are given one of these on the day of their birth. Holding one gives you the authority over that house that any ranking family member will have. Even one as low as Arton, still his pendant can be used to hold sway over the house.
And that is why that's a far more vital thing than your
She
son
nods.
himself, because he's been returned, but there's still a potential threat out there if they hold this pendant.
She nods and says that anyone bearing one of those pendants can make deals, purchases on behalf of the Rosolio family, and that is unacceptable. So she says, she looks around towards all of you, and says, you all have the look of mercenaries. Seems like it would offend your sensibilities. Let's say adventurers in need of coin. I would be willing to offer you 600 gold if you can find out who took Arton, and another 600 if you can retrieve the pendant he lost.
Well, I suspect we will probably stumble across it because whatever has afflicted your son and placed him in this state, I don't see it wanting to stop anytime soon, considering it has been successful so far.
The pendant can be in the river or in the belly of a wyvern. I mean, it would just be a matter of sheer luck to find it.
Or possibly
Find
in the
out
hands of a
who
rival family.
took my son. Finding that out alone is enough information for me if you can't find the pendant.
We will see what we're capable of accomplishing. Do you happen to know if there is any successful treatment for the affliction that your son's currently going through?
She shakes her head. She says, of the 2 other noble people who have been returned, there seems to be no cure for this other than to keep them saturated, to keep them comfortable. If they are removed from the water for too long, their skin grows transparent, and eventually they bear more similarities to, well, a jellyfish than a man. But if we keep them submerged and keep them in water, they can go about their lives as normal. And with someone like Arton, keeping him in the house in a tub is probably not the worst thing that could ever happen to him. I will build I will have an aquarium built for him.
Have the clerics tried everything to see if they could remove whatever is afflicting them?
From what I understand, I haven't heard too much, but from what I understand, the magic that does this is not of this world and is out of their realm of expertise.
I look like a Wyatt. I'm like, you have some similarities to that, don't you? Hey, Doc.
No.
She says,
I mean, I could try things tomorrow, but if she said her own cleric's gonna do anything, then what could I do?
"It is not only mine, but that of Water Baron Nestor Ruthiol as well. It seems that all of the people that have gone missing have been political allies of hers, or family members of political allies of hers. She has become very interested in Arten's appearance. Get the distinct impression that she may have more worry about this than she's letting on. Frederick, you would recognize that name, Nestor Ruthiol. She is the current ruler of Yartzaar. She is the Water Baron.
Would she have ties towards my family at all, or no?
No, not so much. Just again, a casual acquaintance. Maybe you've crossed paths at a party or something like that, but no personal connection.
Oh, she would possibly know me then. If that's the case.
She would certainly know the name Van Enric.
Okay. Okay.
Why?
I'm just thinking she could possibly know me. We could possibly get an audience with her. That's all I was thinking about. What was her name again?
This woman's name is Decia Rosolio. The Water Baron's name is Nestor Ruthiol. And Decia says that if you have information about these disappearances, then that would be more than enough to get an audience with her.
Okay. Perfect. Nestor Ruthiol, right?
Yep.
I'm just writing it down just to make sure.
When she held up the pendant or the locket, I don't know what you want to call it. Was it enough for us to like get a good understanding of what it is?
Oh yeah. It's essentially just a family seal carved from gold.
Okay. Might have some tricks for tomorrow.
Can we use locate item on that if we know what it is?
Have to be really close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'd have to be within 1,000 feet. That's what I was thinking too.
But if we can narrow it down to, say, a household or something where it may be located in.
I mean,
And
I think we still probably need to work on the angle of who kidnapped them in the first place before we try that.
Alright, I think
Well, we do also know that from what he has said that there was there was a specific woman that had lured him away with the
Purple dress.
purple dress.
A woman in a purple dress, is that what he said?
Dark hair, yes.
Like dark
Do
brown.
you mention that
hair
to
or-
Decia?
Yes.
So Decia would comment that this woman might be one of the Hand of Yartzaar, the all-female thieves guild. She doesn't know exactly where the hand resides, but suggests that looking for hardened women in sordid places might be a way to get in contact with them.
Sounds like fun.
Did he also tell us his last location before he was kidnapped? Like where in Yartar he was at?
He was pretty quiet about that. He didn't want to say anything, and he did not give you all a specific location. He just said that he was out drinking. He said he remembered something about a golden goose as well.
Golden goose.
Let's ask around about a golden goose, y'all.
Do you mention that to Lady Decia?
I talk out loud in all things, yes.
Alright. So, as soon as you mention a golden goose, she would snap her attention towards you. And anyone near Kamed you would see one of the first emotions on his face, like an "ooh shit" type of look on his face, and she says, "A golden goose, you say?"
Yeah, he mentioned something about it. We don't know what it is, but would
You can see just like rage bubbling up on her face, and she says, "Well, it is quite a good thing that he'll never be able to leave the house again, because at least that way he will be able to gamble away this home's fortunes." The Golden Goose
Casino?
refers to the Grand Dame. It is a floating riverboat casino that I have specifically told my son not to frequent. It's the type of place where the wealthy with fools with more coin than sense like to hang out and waste away their golds.
Danny just snitched them out.
To be fair, that sounds exactly like the place he would be.
To be honest. Okay.
Oh, that was super helpful. Thank you. We can definitely start there.
Right.
It says that if you intend to look into this matter, then perhaps meeting with the Water Baron first, as she does seem to be quite interested, and she has many resources to bring to bear that might be able to help you out.
Yes, I was exactly going to say we should talk to the other families that got afflicted by this and talk to the Baron herself, hopefully.
Yeah, this woman has been extremely helpful. Also, I'd like her to teach me how she does that little, like, dismissive wave thing. That's pretty neat.
Alright. So she says, are you ready? It goes like this, and then she dismissively waves you all out.
That's amazing! Suddenly, Danny's on the other side of the door. That's amazing!
Alright. Okay, everybody. So, as you all make your way out of the Rosilio Manor and farther into Yartzaar, we'll go ahead and take our break for the day. And when we come back, we will be at the gates of the Water Baron's Hall. So, welcome back. We find ourselves traveling through the streets of Yartzaar, on the way towards the Water Baron's Hall. Again, there's plenty of mercantile places, shrines of various varieties throughout the city. So, what do y'all want to do?
Well, the first things first, we should probably gather information, so we should talk to those other families afflicted by the same curse that, I keep thinking his name is Arthur.
Artan.
Artan, there we go. Let me write that down real quick. She said there's 2 other families with their children afflicted by it, no?
Correct.
Yeah, so we should probably go see them. Or do you guys want to check out the goose first?
Well, no. Artan's mother even said we need to go see the Water Baron lady. That she would have more resources for us to figure it out.
Yeah, Ruthio.
Yeah. Though I think Horace wanted to take Bones and dunk him in holy water.
Oh god. Okay. Kind of want to see what happens there.
Why does everyone always want to do this stuff with me?
Well, now I'm just curious. So what if it happens if we dunk you in holy water?
I
He
don't
doesn't
know.
catch-
It's something that
He doesn't catch fire when I cast Cure Wounds. So that's a good sign.
Right, like technically speaking, if we dunk you in holy water, nothing should really happen, other than if nothing to be worried about, right?
Nope. He didn't run with the turn undead either, so.
Just
maybe it's just maybe it's something that's just waiting until something legit kills me to actually shift me into something like that. Who knows?
Right. Just like we kind of like you just like buy a bucket of holy water and just do the ice bucket challenge on you when you're not expecting it. Okay. So we should see Ruthio, right? the water baroness.
Or were you guys trying to get to an all shrine first?
Yeah,
Please.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. I'll follow the lead. I'll follow the group.
Okay. So, as you all make your way through the town, you do see several different shrines. Shrines to Ogma seem to be the most common in this area, the god of invention, but there are several others, including an all shrine. As you all enter into that structure, it's rather Spartan in nature, as most all shrines that you visit are. They don't have any major visible holy symbols out or anything like that. There is simply a symbol on the front of the building, large stone blocky building, that marks it as an all shrine. And when you all enter, there is an old elvish woman, and I do emphasize an old elvish woman. Anyone familiar with elves would know her to be near 1,000 years old, if not over. She is effectively blind, as you can see when you all enter. She lifts her head up, and without looking towards any of you, she says, "Welcome to the All Faith. What brings you to me today, travelers?" She sits on a cushion at the center of a large open space, several things of incense burning, various places throughout, censers swinging overhead.
Good morning, priestess. We have a friend who has fallen upon misfortune. He was attacked by a vampire, but is not a vampire. And then recently, he has been attacked by a werewolf.
Still kind of
Evidently,
looking
I'm
out.
just hasty.
Still kind of looking out in the space between you all. She takes a deep breath in. She says, "Yes, I can smell death on him. No sign of the wolf's corruption, though." And Brevin, she turns towards you, and she seems to be looking at you. "There is something else. Come." And she reaches out a hand towards you and gestures you to come forward, Brevin.
He slowly steps closer. Like he's not sure if he trusts this lady or not, but considering everybody's there, he supposes he'll indulge.
So, Brevin, as you begin to step closer, she slowly puts her hand down, and you see her brow furrow in concern. And suddenly, she vanishes in a puff of smoke. And it looks like blue vapors.
What?
And she appears directly in front of you, Brevin, traversing the space of about 15 feet in an instant. And she is now eye to eye with you. And you see that her eyes, which were kind of clouded over, have gone completely black. And she looks at you and she says, "The sire of your malady searches for you. He calls his lair at the place where one city overlooks the other on the water. Find him before he finds you, or all will be lost." Her eyes kind of go back to being white, kind of clouded. She says, "Oh, that was interesting."
Raven goes wide-eyed with a look on his face of what the heck was that?
Same here.
She says, I don't know. Shall we proceed with looking over your wounds?"
What was that? I'm just like waving my finger around.
Well, that was a portent.
Even Andy was like, "What the fuck?" Okay.
Does all the mystical voodoo cost us more?
collect no fees in this place.
Oh, okay.
Religion, yes, please.
An Arcana check would also be appropriate.
Okay, sure. I'll help that out.
What are you trying to figure out, Horse?
Just what to call that. It's not an augury. It's not a divination.
It was definitely a type of divination magic that just happened.
Right.
I rarely use my sessionals, like pretty much anytime. I'll take the 17.
Okay. So you would have recognized that as from the school of Chronergy. It's one of the newer schools.
Okay, chronology. I have something I have to look up later. Okay. Does it like any more information from that, or?
That means that she saw into the future.
Oh, what the hell? Okay.
That's all you
So
can
what
get,
was-
though.
Well, I say this was worth our time.
What was the name she gave?
She said that the sire of your malady calls his lair where one city overlooks another over the water. Let's see. Ooh, oh, damn. Drake isn't here anymore. He would actually know that place. So those of you from Waterdeep can make history checks to see if that rings any bells.
Okay, sure. I'll do a history check.
What if we've been to Waterdeep?
I'll do a history check and also throw a guidance on top of it for.
15.
I will use my sessional and I will also throw that guidance on top of it.
Okay.
So 17,
So-
18, 19.
Brevin, being from Waterdeep, the idea of two cities overlooking one another over a body of water leads you to believe that she was likely talking about the Barge Right Inn and Wormford, which is right here.
Oh, I gotta backtrack so much now. Okay.
If only you all were about to get some access to teleportation magic. All right.
You said that was the Barge Ride Inn, correct?
Correct. Barge Right Inn is actually a city that was built up around an inn.
Okay.
One popular inn.
My apologies, I had just a little bit of static on my end, so I wanted to make sure I heard correctly.
Okay, I wrote it down. Reverend also, well, if he wasn't already a little bit pale and chill to the touch, he'd be looking that way now because, well, his precise memories of the, how she phrased it, sire of his ailment, kind of involved his throat getting ripped out. Ugh.
One of those experiences you don't want to repeat again if you can avoid it.
Why would he do it again?
She did say that he is now looking for Brevin.
Ooh, that's just
Okay, so see, he got a stalker then. Ooh.
A night stalker.
Oh no. I actually just watched a video about those. Don't do that to me.
Oh, that'd be so rude.
That'd be so evil. Just like, here's like 3 night stalkers. Have fun.
Yeah. I actually threw 3 Night Stalkers as a set piece. I didn't throw them at my players. I had them crossing a fair distance away from them. And one of my players had the brilliant idea of shouting "Who goes there?" at them.
I think he told us that story before.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell.
Andy's gonna pat Brevin on the back and let him know that he doesn't have to worry because she'll protect him.
Aw.
And by protect, she means
throw him to the wolves when the time comes.
take
He, like-
you out behind the barn and tell you a nice story.
Oh no.
Mice and men are his ass.
Send you to the farm.
Well, this was somewhat horrifying.
Thanks. Thanks, Forrest.
Hey, at least you're not suffering lycanthropy.
Yes,
The
there
old
is
elvish
that.
woman
You're
would be like, yes, indeed. No touch of the wolf upon you.
There we go. Let's head to the Water Baron.
That's
Obviously, I'm immune to those such things.
just came up with a traumatizing event. Let's go talk to the
Yeah,
water.
so
baron
as
now.
you guys are leaving, the old lady shouts out behind you, "Watch the skies at night! Goodbye!"
Oh, does your dad fly or something?
Ma'am, you watch the skies at night too. Really, just a colloquial thing.
Well,
Oh, so she wasn't talking about
Let
Bones'
me-
dad.
Oh, I thought she was.
Oh.
That's
if you
what
were
I
to look
thought,
back
too.
at her, she would look confused again. Like, what did I just say?
What the hell? Frederick will be visibly shook from that as well. Like, what the first time you exposed to future magic, I guess.
School of Chronergy.
School of Chronergy, yeah.
Yeah, I know a few of those.
Chrono shit.
You actually know some of those
Seahorse.
spells.
Yeah.
See, Horse, this is what happens every time I go near religion.
Right, every time you go to a shrine, someone's just like, evil!
Alright, let's go talk to that water baroness.
Sorry.
Uh,
Sorry
who
for my
knows the way?
outburst.
No worries. So who knows the way? Because
I think
Yeah.
we know the way. She
Oh,
she
okay.
told us how to get there, but we really wanted to dunk.
don't go on Brendan.
Yeah.
Riven.
So,
And we didn't even do that.
the Water Baron of Yartzaar resides in the Water Baron's Hall, which sits near the center of Yartzaar. It's a large, squat building with a vaulted roof. And outside, there are several armed guards who are referred to as the Shields of Yartzaar. There's two outside. They don't stop your entrance, but they do most certainly take note of your passage as you pass by the front gates into the Water Baron's Hall. And it is still midday, so the Water Baron is in her grand meeting hall. It's pretty much a straight shot to her. You can see her past the main courtyards and everything. So as you all approach and are about to go into the main palladium that she is in, 4 Shields of Yartzaar step into your way. You can tell this is a very practiced thing they do, very much just quickly forming a shield wall. And they say, "State your business," without even looking at you all, just very ceremonial.
We're here to speak to Nestor Rosolio.
Ruthiel. I know the names here. The names here all have like R's and O's, and
I'm sorry,
they all
read the
start
last-
sounding similar.
I read the wrong one. Shit. Nestor Ruthio. We're here on behalf of House Rosolio, trying to discover the happenings of certain members within the nobility here.
Okay. So one turns, and one of them breaks away from the shield wall. The other 3 close in to fill the gap he just left. He very stiffly takes one step back, turns on his heel, and tilts his head back and says, "Madam Water Baron." And then he just very ceremonially calls out that you all are here to ask questions at the behest of Lady Rosolio, and that they are here to inquire about the missing nobles. And as soon as Lady Rosolio comes up, and as soon as the nobles are brought up, she immediately leans forward in her seat and says, "Let them through. Bring them forward." and the four of them immediately step off to the side and allow you to pass.
Neat. Guess we enter.
Okay.
Yeah, but we wipe our feet.
Yes, 100%.
We're classy like that.
Mhm.
All right. So, as you're all approaching, it's a long haul. It's a very open space that you're having to cross through right now. And
Fine.
as you are making your way through there, the Water Baron sits back into her large throne. It's not super elaborate. It's mostly made of stone with a few embellishments on it. But she leans back in it and kind of appraises you all as you come walking forward.
Quick question: is she like a real Baron, or is she just called Baron?
The Water Baron is this would be pretty much common knowledge. The Water Baron is the title given to the ruler of Yartzaar.
Oh,
okay. So she's Big Baron.
Yeah,
then.
she's it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Ooh. All right.
So-
Extra polite.
As you all are making your way forward, you begin to hear this faint droning sound, almost like a buzzing, coming from somewhere nearby.
Can I roll a perception check to see
Yeah.
where? All right.
It's
I will
very
also
faint,
check for
almost
buzz.
imperceptible.
I think flinch will be more accurate or be more attuned to that.
Could
Can I
I
roll
have
flinch?
could I have E see if he can hear what it is? Considering
E has
advantage
blind
on-
sight, doesn't he?
Echolocation.
Okay.
What does that do precisely?
So, let's go ahead and just leave it at that, everybody. But
Okay.
E would begin panicking, and he would be like landing on Brevon's shoulder and pointing at something unseen. And Wyatt, you would recognize the drone of that sound as tiny wings flapping very, very quickly. And just as you all begin to alert to this sound, a wasp-like machination. It almost looks like almost like a biomechanical object of some kind with wasp-like wings appears about 3 or 4 feet directly above Lady Ruthiel. And as that happens, she looks up, shouts, and the thing dives down towards her with this wicked-looking stinger, black ooze kind of dripping away from it.
Can I attempt
And
to strike it as
as she does that, as she looks up towards it, this black blur, almost feline in its appearance, leaps out of the shadows from behind Lady Ruthiel and tackles this construct to the ground. Takes one quick strike at it, and it stops moving. As this happens, the shields of Yartzaar come storming in. Several people begin shouting, and a man comes strolling out from behind Lady Ruthiel's throne. Charles.
Howdy there, folks.
Yeah, why don't you go and introduce yourself for us?
Well, howdy there, folks. Sorry about that. I've been chasing this little bugger around for a little while now, and well, seems I got here just in time. Almost too close to call. Name's Charles D. Nelson. Pleasure to meet you all. And he's got basically like a pair of like goggles on top of his head. He's wearing some nice armor on his chest. He's got some nice fine clothes, like very well clothed, and he has a nice Black Panther. Um, and he made it himself. It's very, very unique, and he's actually very well known for it. In fact, in some of the bigger cities, he's known as a genius because he's one of a kind and the first to ever make such a creature.
One of the first ever steel defenders to be built. So Lady Ruthiel would turn towards him and say, "Well, I must admit I was rather apprehensive of your friend when you first brought him here, but I must say that I am very grateful to have you here now."
Well, I'm glad I made it in time, madam. So, who are these fine folk in front of us?
You
So,
two are
Lady
awfully
Rosolio
calm
would.
for a threat on your life just transpiring here.
Really calm.
She does say that unfortunately this is not a uncommon occurrence lately, which is why I allowed you all in once I heard that you were looking into the kidnappings of the nobles in the area.
Alrighty.
Just 1 second.
Well then, in that case, my name is Brevin, a Brevin of the agent of the Lord's Alliance, and these are my various compatriots and friends. I'm the Wizard Frederick, the Barbarian Warrior Dandy, Dr. Wyatt, who is a master of all forms of medicinal arts,
Aye,
including medicinal spirits,
especially.
and of course, the noble, and of course the most noble of dwarven clerics, Horace.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you all. You all seem like fine folk. And, I almost forgot. This dear panther here, I like to call him Luna. As he says that, the panther just kind of walk in front of him and sit and kind of put his hand on his head.
We were directed here due to, well, we decided to try to look into the cause of some various people in noble houses being afflicted with some sort of uh, need to be around water that apparently has afflicted 3 households that we've been made aware of.
Okay.
For whatever creature is causing this needs to be, whatever creature, person, or thing is causing this, it needs to be stopped.
She nods and she says, I am well aware of what's happening in my city. That's why I was hoping I could enlist you all to help me with it. I've actually already asked for the aid of the Artificers Guild, and they've sent Charles here to help. But the more the merrier, and a team is always better than an individual. So, and as she's going on like that, a little girl comes running out from behind. It looks like she's coming from another room. And she was very obviously looking for the panther and just runs up to Luna and just like starts petting it like it's a cat.
Can
The
question?
panther just like sits there and kind of like nuzzles her a bit.
Uh,
So,
so
lady, go ahead.
I was gonna ask about the giant or tiny wasp-like
It
machine.
was about the size of about the size of a basketball.
Oh, okay. So it's like moderately sized. Okay, so I asked them, are those also common occurrences as well?
As
or-
you're asking about that, you can tell very much that this lady is trying to keep a very calm, serene aspect to herself. And she says, no, that one is a new one. And as you're inquiring about it, a couple of the shields of Yartar have already begun picking it up and putting it into some sort of container so they can take it away and take a look at it.
Alright.
Can I look at that real quick? I just want to see what was on that tip of it.
They look over towards the Water Baron, and she nods. 2 of the shields of Yartar bring it over to you and open up the thing that they just put it into. It looks like... Go ahead.
I wanted to specifically the black light fluid that was coming off of the stinger.
Okay.
Is that natural, medicinal, or some type of alchemical compound?
She gestures for you. She says, you tell me. You go ahead and make a... Show us an alchemy check. This is one of the things that like I wish 5e was a little crunchier, so we can have like specific checks for stuff like this. But let's go ahead and call it an Arcana check for now, or Nature.
Want me to support you, Wyatt?
Wyatt would be yeah.
Alright.
I'll do Arcana. Hey, you know what? I'll do Nature.
Nice.
15 with the assistance
15,
of.
yep. So you've seen this poison around before. It's not super common, It's actually a derivative of the Underdark, from what you can tell. Brewed up from the mushrooms and lichens that exist down there.
Okay, so it was just a poison then.
Yes, it was a poison.
The knowing where it came from can help on who could possibly be involved.
True. I thought maybe this was the substance that was causing the Jello curse.
It looks more like it's just a temp life. Okay.
So she goes on to tell you all that 3 nobles have gone missing over the past few days. Arton Rosolio was one of them. Jacob Dawnflower was another, and Timothy Salzburg. All 3 were young men. She tells you that Timothy was a regular at the Grand Dam, and Jacob might have been involved with the Hand of Yartzaar in some way. At least some rumors might lead to that.
What was the other 3 people? It was
Arton, Jacob,
Timothy, and
Jacob.
Jacob. Okay.
She says that as far as these 3 are concerned, no clues have been found about where any of them are, and all seem to have disappeared during the night while they were out on the town.
I ask Jacob and Timothy, what are their standings with their families as well?
She says that's why she is concerned. All 3 of those families have backed her claim to the rule of Yartzaar, and she finds it very suspicious. So much so.
My apologies. I mean, as in, what is their standing in the family? Are they considered the youngest borns, mid-borns, eldest?
Various. There's no specific pattern on that. It's one of them was the oldest, another Arton, the youngest of his family, and another was a middle child.
Okay.
So the only ties that they backed you in ruling the city.
She nods.
Yeah.
That and their ability to be struck at fairly easily.
Right.
And she agrees with that as well, that all 3 of them were taken at night, and all 3 of them were known to do a bit of carousing.
Were Timothy and Jacob returned anytime, or are they still considered missing?
She said that those 2 are still missing. She says that 2 have been returned, Arton being the 3rd. And she says that
Who were
the family...
Artan and...
Arton was just returned. Jacob and Timothy are both still missing. And
the second one, then.
Yep. Those 2 are still missing.
You said 2 were returned.
Yes, yeah. 2 were returned. The ones that were returned...
Artan and Jacob.
No. Sorry, no. We're getting a little bit...
Oh.
So... I'll go ahead and put it in the chat here so we can clear that up.
Okay, yeah. That's what we're kind of confused on.
Okay.
So Arton was returned. Timothy and Jacob are missing. So there's a 4th one then. It's just a mystery on our hands, crew.
Yes, it is.
We're gonna Scooby-Doo this whole campaign. We got our little panther companion as Scooby.
Okay. So, and she goes on to say, she looks down at the little girl that's still playing with the panther. She says, Biffrey, why don't you head on back and go and play with your things? We have to speak of some things. The first real softness that you've seen on Lady Ruthiel's face. The little girl looks up and says, yes, Auntie, and runs off.
Before she runs off, Charles just be, if you like, you can play with, when we're back from our little mission, you can play with the panther again after.
She claps her hands and makes a little squeal and runs off. So she said, the Lady Rufiel says, Belud Distrifo, Andy's father. He was the first that was returned to us. They claimed to have an antidote for the ailment. When we brought him back and applied this antidote to Belud, his mind was not entirely his anymore, and he could sense it, he knew it. So he stopped taking his doses, and the disease progressed to the point of his death. He said that he would not let his mind be taken, that he would rather be dead, is the only thing that he could seem to say with any regularity.
Before his passing, did he speak of anything that happened to him before the night he was taken?
He says
any people he met, or
he says that his mind had been thoroughly stripped of much of the knowledge of that night and what happened. He says the images that he gets are of, I'm sorry, it's very, very vague, but he spoke of arms, tentacles, a squid. It was all very strange, the things that he spoke of.
can I roll a Arcana or history check to see if I could get a general gist of what that could be?
Sure. Go ahead and roll a history check.
Okay. Anybody want to help me out on that one, or?
Charles will help you out.
Yeah, Charles might be able to help you out with that.
All right. Got a +7 on that thing. Really? Wow, we're rolling really shit tonight.
Yep.
Right. Thank you, Horace. Love you, man.
So, Wyatt, those tentacles would have sparked some memories for you as well. And then,
that's what I would have thought, but I didn't want to interject because I know a lot of guys were thinking about it already.
Right. And Charles, as they're all talking about this, Horace, you might... Go ahead.
Didn't Wyatt appear surfing on a cloud of tentacles?
A little bit.
Oh, that's an image right there.
So all of this would lead you all to believe that a sea creature of some kind was involved. It's one that would be pretty familiar to all of you, at least in lore and legend. And Horace, it would definitely ring some bells for you as well. And Charles, there's actually that organization that you have been tracking.
Okay.
Do you share the name of that organization with the group?
Yes, I do.
So Charles has been tracking a organization known as... Sorry, I always get it mixed up, so I want it to be right the first time I tell it to you all. So it is an organization known as the Kraken Society.
That's very
Kraken Society. And as that name is mentioned, there's actually a few things out on the street that you may have noticed that might be returning to memory now that it has been brought up, of a black hand on some of the walls with a squid's face drawn over it, almost like graffiti being covered up by other graffiti. The hand being covered by that squid's face.
Was that in this town, or was that?
That was here, yeah, in Yartzaar.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought we were going up against something completely else. Kraken.
Right, I was thinking about something else, too.
Hydra.
A Hydra, I fucking wish.
Well, don't be counting your horse too quickly. We still don't know exactly too much about it. I've been investigating them for a while, but there's still a lot of things we don't know.
I'm still kind of worried.
Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but krakens are technically sea creatures, correct?
They are.
Yes.
Yes.
True,
Isn't
but
land,
their
isn't
worshippers
Yartzaar
don't
landlocked?
necessarily have to be sea-based.
Could be a name, a anagram or something.
Ruthiel does tell you all that the Kraken Society has been extending its reach farther and farther inland, seeming to try to take over as many Lords Alliance cities as it can. They have their tentacles thoroughly wrapped around Waterdeep at this point. At least that is what her spies tell her.
Haha, I see what you did there.
Fucking hell.
All right.
I tried to ignore it too. He just had to foul it up.
Oh man.
All right.
So,
Do we know if the Kraken Society is competing with or allied with the Hand of Yartar?
the Water Baron would say that she believes that they are in opposition at the moment.
All right. That's good to know. Out of game. Have we talked about how to contact the Hand of Yartzaar? 'Cause that's the Thieves Guild here, right?
Yeah.
Right. So far, all you've heard is that wherever you can find, what was the way that they put it? Wherever hardened, but suggests that looking for hardened women in sordid places might be a way to contact them.
Danny, these are your friends, right?
I mean, I didn't call myself a thief like this.
In case you're muted.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
I said I
Okay.
wouldn't particularly call myself a thief, but yes.
Oh no, I mean like hardened woman.
You mean someone who can kick your ass?
Basically, yeah. I ain't beating around the bush. If 1v1, Danny's probably gonna kick fucking Frederick's ass pretty easily.
Seems to track.
It's okay. That's a long list.
My, it seems like this woman is quite feisty.
yeah, she's extremely to the point that she'll probably break bones fairly easily.
What? One would say she's a handful.
But don't.
Oh, God.
Bad puns.
Oh,
All right.
Bad- yeah, the puns.
we need the puns. Daily dose. All right. So
Go the goose then.
yeah, I guess so. Unless does she have? Do we want to talk to the families? What was that, Brevin?
The thing is I don't know if the families are going to give any further insight or not.
Okay, so one
She
of them
does
is
tell
dead,
you
so-
that the other families seemed terrified into silence after what happened to Belud.
Balud was the one who passed away. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Verber, his family is completely shut down too.
Yes. Verber is still alive. That's how Lady Rosolio was able to learn about how to keep Arton safe and comfortable. So he is at his manor and basically in a large aquarium that his family had built for him.
If you don't mind me asking you, ma'am, do you perhaps have a lead for us? Something that we can go off of to begin our investigation?
She says, well, Arton being the last one, I would suspect that the Grand Dam would be a good place to begin looking, although she kind of looks you all up and down, with the exception of Charles, who is well-dressed. Is anyone else wearing nice, do you all look road-worn, or are you nicely dressed?
Well, Frederick still has his noble-esque looking outfit, but does it kind of like worn out a bit?
Dandy has a hide and fur thing going on.
Nice. So,
If there would have been a chance, Brandon would have swapped into it, a set of fighter clothes that he carries with him, just in case he is having to meet with folks a little higher up.
Okay. So, the
Lovingly
Water Baron
polished plate.
So, Water Baron Ruthiel says that there is no way that any of you would be allowed onto the Grand Dam in this condition. Even Charles, Frederick, and Brevin, she says that underdressed. So she says that you're more than welcome to peruse the Water Baron's wardrobes. She has many outfits for both men and women.
Makeover montage!
This is literally a fucking makeover montage.
I've never been so excited in my life. Okay.
So she says that before you visit the Grand Dam, that you will need to dress up, as it is a place for rather affluent folks, and they do very much like to deny people entry. But she says, and she hands over gold, a gold medallion, not unlike the one that Lady Ruthiel has, but it has the actual seal of Yartar on it. But she says to show this to the guards at the gate, and even Lord Dryland won't be able to deny you entry if you show them this. And after she mentions Lord Dryland, she does say that that is actually something that she should mention to you all. That she does believe that Lord Dryland is behind this in some way. She has no proof, and so cannot go to anybody with it, but she just feels it in her gut that Lord Dryland...
His name is Dryland.
Yes.
Lord Dryland.
Oh, Sean, you genius. Okay.
I don't get credit for that one. That's already in the book.
All right.
I feel like they were scraping the bottom of the barrel with that one.
No, I love it. I love it.
It's so many puns, man.
They got some real good like Italian names going, Iago, you know what I mean? And then they go, the big bad of the city is Lord Dryland. When the Baron's called the Water Baron, like,
God
No,
damn.
it's great. I love
okay,
it so much.
somebody was clearly like on a deadline and was just like, fuck it.
Great.
Naming stuff is hard.
Naming stuff is hard. Well, it's like, has anyone ever tried to make the like world maps or anything? It's like, my God, I must come up with a perfect name for this city. How do people name cities and towns and everything like that? And it's like, we called this city Riverside because it was next to a river.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Or Moreno Valley because it's in a valley, and Moreno.
Right. This place is called Big Mountain because it's next to the big mountain.
Famous astronaut junior high school.
Right.
Perfect.
All right.
We shall name this New York, for Lord Yorkshire has supplied our caravan. Okay.
Yes.
Indeed.
Well, I am a little bit fearful for some of the other nobles that have been taken away. Is there anything else that we need, or should we head out and start investigating?
There is a question I have. What is the policy about carrying weaponry at this?
She says that there is a strict no weapon policy on the Grand Dam. The Grand Dame. Sorry, I always want to say Grand Dam like Van Dam, but it's the Grand Dame.
Kinda happy playing wizard right now, not gonna lie.
So, how do I hide a great axe up one of these skirts?
Well,
so she asks if you all are planning on going to the place now, or if you were going to go around, if you were going to do anything first, because
well, we're first gonna go through our makeover, obviously.
That would be just before you go to the Grand Dame.
Right. Honestly, I would try to communicate with what's his name, Verber Shurug.
Does Charles have a sack of holding?
I'm afraid I do not.
Okay, that was a real possibility.
I could get one though.
Mm,
A sack of holding.
I think
It wouldn't be difficult for me to acquire one if it's something that we need.
the faster we can get this through, right?
I'm lost. Go on. Elaborate.
Well, there's still 2 people missing, so
Right.
the faster we can get answers, the faster the possibility of them still being in the city.
And I do agree with that. And in fact, on that note, I think it's hard to go to the Grand Baron or whatever that place was called at this moment because we don't have the evidence that we require to frame him for something. I do think it would be wise to scour the town in search of evidence.
So are we good for talking with Verber?
I thought we were going to go to the Grand Dame and try and follow our lead's footsteps.
The thing is the casino is going to be open
Only at night.
Oh yeah, the casino. I completely forgot about that place. Wow.
That is the
Yeah,
Grand Dame. The Grand Dame is a floating riverboat casino.
Oh, I
It
thought it was
ta-
the Golden Goose.
I thought
the
Never mind.
golden
Yeah.
goose is what has how Lady Rosolio knew about that. And I'm sorry, I should have told you this, but the golden goose is the poker chips used at that place. They're
Oh,
you exchange gold
okay.
for gold. You exchange coins for golden geese when you walk in.
Oh, okay.
okay,
That
okay.
explains a lot now.
And they're made out of plastic?
Yep, clay.
What's plastic?
They're made out of clay.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. We got this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so our literally our first lead is Verber then.
They're made out of dry land.
Oh god damn it!
God damn it.
You're a monster.
You're a monster.
There's a limit to everything.
They're just breaking it down. That's all.
You're breaking me down.
So our options are to go to the. Oh my god! Why can't I remember it for the life of me right now?
The Grand Dame.
The Grand Dame, or
Frederick was mentioning trying to get an audience with Verber Shurug.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also, you guys have been let know a few times that the back alleys and places of ill repute are good places to try and find agents of the Hand of Yartzaar.
Oh
We will
yeah.
just have to
Oh.
try our best.
If
Let's do that.
yeah, the back alley sounds like a great idea. If we go to the back alleys, we manage to like, get someone, or capture someone, we can ask for information from them.
Well, I don't think we'll capture them. They're
We
thieves.
don't need. The thing is most people in any criminal organization are used to being apprehended and questioned. The rules that are going to know a significant amount. You can't just sit there and just threaten them with brute force because, quite frankly, they're already part of a criminal organization that will do worse to them than anything we could dream up of if they talk.
Right. Okay. So
In
befriending
fact,
them
you
would be a
have
better
actually
option.
appeal to them and get, you have to appeal to them and be able to show them how it benefits them as well.
Right. So we throw Dandy as bait.
So, I believe it's time for us to try to visit with them.
I mean, technically, if, as the Water Baron said, they're not aligned with this Society of the Kraken of.
Correct.
Anyway,
And they may be willing to give up.
right.
And
right.
they're, quite frankly, they're going to have a much more extensive knowledge of how large this enemy organization is, just due to the fact that they have more people working for them who are far more invested than well, I mean, let's face it, most of the noble houses here are going to be more concerned with how they're going to collect coin and maintain power more than what's going on in the shadows and back alleys of a place. Because this Order of the Kraken almost seems to be acting as if it's a... It almost sounds a mix of criminal organization and some sort of almost cult-like activity. But that could also be just not having a full picture of its reach and power yet, too.
And we don't have to get dressed up. Let's go.
In any case, this is going to be fun.
You will not stop Dandelion from dressing up. That is not happening. She is already excited about it.
Though my Reverend does pause and says, though I do have a question, if we do wind up having to go to this casino, do we wish to try to find some sort of more concealable weapon for Dandy?
I don't want to see
Why?
Danny with a dagger just start shanking the hell out of people.
I could see Dandy biting people.
Like, to be fair, I think Dandy is a weapon as it is. Again,
Well-
she suplexed a ogre.
This
True.
is true.
But just think, matching parasol with a short sword hidden in the handle.
I'm
Listen.
listening.
Imagine her with a wine bottle. I mean, either way, it's going to be dangerous.
Yes.
I could always have my panther just wait outside of the casino, and then if things go down, well, I can have my panther run with everything, all the weapons in.
R2D2.
Cross the water.
Just
on a boat on the
start
river.
shooting weapons out at everybody.
Jesus Christ.
How
No,
much
stop.
weight? How much weight can E carry?
What is the airspeed of an unladen African swallow?
I was thinking the same thing. Thank you. And I'm definitely not in HeroForge right now making Dandy a fancy outfit.
Nice. All right, so what'll it be, everybody?
I mean, I'm sure there'll be steak knives in a high-end gambling assortment, right? They have to cut steak.
And it's also safe to assume you won't be the only one trying to sneak weapons in either.
Oh.
Right.
Has everybody ever seen Maverick? There wasn't supposed to be guns on that boat.
Oh my god.
Nice throwback. I love that.
Alright, so what do you guys want to do? Want to talk to them, or try him to get contact with the hand, or go with noble? I can never remember his name.
I want to go
Berber.
to the city of ill repute.
I think we should go talk to the hand because maybe they have a way for us to get weapons and stuff onto the boat, all set up.
Mm-hmm.
Sean,
Or
how big's
possibly
the
have
boat?
people
Like
like that.
possibility, like just like a question, like how big's the boat?
It's pretty big. Give me just a second, I'll see.
All right.
This is
Like
information
100.
that Lady Rosilio would have, so...
Is it like 100 feet long, possibly, or more?
I'm gonna check right now.
A bunch of river rafts tied together.
Because I'm just saying, if everything goes south, I just cast a fireball or two. You know what I mean? Just so you know, I'm pretty sure burning wood on top of water isn't always the best option.
Oh, that's not good. I have a map with no map on it.
Ruh-roh.
Because there's a map for the Grand Dam, but all that's left is the dynamic lighting, so I'll have to fix that. It's a good thing I looked into that now before it actually became, hey, what the fuck? It just popped in. Okay, never mind.
Hey, there we go. I just gave you a heads up.
Weird. I think it must just be Roll20 running slowly. But the boat is... Sorry, it's loading really slow for me. It'll just be a second while it...
That's how big that boat is.
Damn. It's almost like a Grand Dam.
What is happening? The map is acting really weird. I'll just guess. It is over 100 feet long.
Hey. And I can imagine it being very flammable.
How many?
Modern casino boats are 350 feet long.
That's modern, though.
That's modern.
Well, I mean, Yartzaar River isn't like that big, you know.
Okay, I've got to refresh Roll20 here.
I'm also assuming that they cater to very specific clientele. It's not like a
A massive.
Forbes casino or
Yeah,
anything where
right.
they just let everybody in.
That is a
Yeah,
safe
I'm
assumption.
I'm just glad to know it's worst case scenario. Like if it has to, like down to the wire, I could just explode it.
Like 100 person capacity, and you know what I mean. 30 of those people are probably like waiters and staff and stuff.
Right.
I just had a question actually, real quick. Ma'am, you wouldn't happen to have a bag of holding, would you?
She does not. Not one. Yeah, it's not something she would have.
Darn.
You get your hands on a bag of holding so bad.
Oh yes, I do. Please step into my Gucci purse holding
I could.
closet.
Do we get to
I could
take
use-
jewelry for this montage?
She says that she will have you sign it out and give you a receipt for it, but yes,
Receipt.
any of the
I could
valuables that you
use-
take.
We don't have
Someone
money.
better take a picture or paint her or something while she's got fancy shit. Okay, guys. Fun fact: HeroForge has a cone of shame.
Oh no.
A what?
A cone of shame. The dunce cap.
Code. Oh yeah, I remember that.
I do not
Who-
like cone of shame.
Who put that up? I forgot.
Okay.
Oh, it was you, Crimson. The
What?
the stupid clown barbarian.
Oh yeah. It's the purple,
Yes.
right?
Freaking comic I've read in all day. I was dying.
Yo, I saw that and I was like, yeah, it has to be here. Like, it's not here. It has to.
Yeah. I know Pacifica. I've always known. And just I hear the clown nose, huh? Oh my god. Just chef's kiss.
Dude, I fell in love with that comic. It was so funny. I was just on Facebook too. I was like, let's see what's up.
Yeah.
Oh my god, beautiful. That's art right there.
Yep.
That's what good character building is. Okay, so what are we gonna do to try and find the hand? So like, start walking through every single alleyway, or
Ruthio will tell you that the docks are usually a good place to start if you're looking to find the criminal element.
okay,
Mhm,
wait,
mhm.
docks. That's docks here.
You guys are right on a big old river, so yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I thought it was a map block.
First thing is, yep, I'm
Hardened type females
Broken
in an
is,
ill-disputed location. That's what we're looking for.
Right.
Yep.
So the docks. Then.
Wyvern is going to, as they try to make their way to these areas, since he actually is fluid with the whole thieves' camp thing, he's just looking to see if there's any subtle markings or signs or anything like that where any buildings have been marked by
Okay.
by this group.
So y'all are officially leaving the Water Baron's Hall?
Mhm.
Is there anything else you help us with? I don't really think so.
I don't think so till it's time for us to actually
Go to the Grand
hit the
Dane. Yeah.
casino.
Right.
Yeah. Also, she kind of gave us like her crest, so like
Yeah,
for official stuff, you know what I mean? It'll be
yeah.
that's a big help.
Okay. So, Brevin, as you're making your way through, you're definitely seeing now that it's been brought to your attention, you're definitely noticing a lot of symbology around that would show that most of this place is basically gang owned. There's a few different organizations, but the most dominant ones that you can see throughout the city are the Black Hand, opened, fingers splayed, of the Hand of Yartzaar, and the Kraken-like face. Like, basically think of like an outline of Davy Jones's face from Pirates, and it's there. And that's basically the outline that they put up as their symbol. And a lot of times you'll see one directly covering up the other, as in territory being claimed and taken from the other group. But it's all leading you to pretty much the same place. One section of the docks very clearly is fully controlled by the Hand of Yartzaar, or at least for the time being it is. Yeah, there you go.
God,
And
modern art.
so what are you all doing once you get down into that area? You are along the docks. There's a decent amount of people around, but for the most part they ignore you all, trying their best to go about their business without drawing attention to themselves.
I'm gonna let Flitch fly in the air and just keep an eye on anything that looks strange, like any shady individuals.
Okay.
I kind of feel like perhaps starting a fight. You want to?
Wyatt's gonna tuck his symbol of the Dawnfather into his cambion and probably like stash his shield, and then look for some heavily strong dockmen, dock workers.
We just start like a fighting ring and just bet on Dandy all the time.
Oh, arm wrestling. Let's go.
So as you all are making your way towards the dock area, you're noticing less and less people around. And Wyatt, as you look towards a group of dock hands, big, large guys unloading some stuff off of a boat, they see you coming, and then they look up and past you. and they immediately go up their plank and onto their ship.
So something's behind you.
Would Flinch notice anything?
Dandy, what did
What's
you do now?
Flinch's
And I turn to
perception?
look
Does
at
he have
Dandy.
dark vision?
Flinch does have dark vision, yes.
So Flinch would, once he sees that dock person look past you all, behind you, Flinch would immediately dive down and say that something big is coming.
So Flinch has blind sight, dark vision, and passive perception of 13.
Yeah, so he would definitely see something big coming up from behind you all.
Like, what do you mean, like a big person?
He says like it's a big. He think it's a big person. He says it's a big humanoid. Like it's a big person. He thinks it is.
Does it like?
Reverend is going to.
I'm immediately react to that, I guess. I don't.
So, on closer, once Flinch really gets a good look at it, he says, "Frog." He thinks it's a big frog on two legs. And as you all turn to look at that, that is what you would see. There is a very large, standing at about 11 or 12 feet tall, bipedal frog. It's like kind of lumbering its way down the middle of the street. And let's try not to use any meta knowledge like that.
Oh, my bad.
But no. But as it's marching its way down the street, you all hear a voice from right around a building. Wyatt, it's right behind you. And it says, "Brought home the Rosolio boy, did you? Should have left good enough alone." And Wyatt, as you turn to this voice, it's a person standing there, very pale and sickly looking. Long wet hair that looks like it's completely soaking wet, but none of his clothes look wet. And as you turn to look at him and focus on him, he says, "Such a shame." And then his jaw splits open and distends and extends out almost like a pair of mandibles where his jaw would be. His skin goes to this deep, sallow gray.
Can Flinch react to that or no?
We are going to roll initiative.
Oh, never mind.
So wait, right before right as I see that happening, Charles is gonna grab in his pocket a little gizmo, and he's gonna be like, "I got just the tool for this," and throws the gizmo, and like there's like little fizz going down it, and then as it like fizz goes right down to the bottom, it just like fizzles out and doesn't work.
Nice. So Charles tosses this thing at the thing's feet, and it steps back like it's about to jump back from a grenade, but just goes, and nothing happens, and it looks up at you, Charles, and draws a sword.
Well, I'll have to work on that one a bit more. Oh well, back to Old Faithful.
Oh, cool. 20.
Way to go, Flinch.
All right.
Where is he at? I'll drag you out there. Apparently, he got lost somewhere.
Oh, this would be a good time. Is Charles is human, right?
Yep, Charles is human.
Okay.
Welcome to my hell.
Yeah, humans.
No dark vision.
Yeah, like we were supposed to intend it to be.
Right.
I mean, my mom is human.
No,
one
not,
says
not,
anything.
not, not human. We have supersede human.
On the dynamic lighting stuff,
Yep.
Brevin does have the invocation devil sight. I don't think it'll really matter, but
Hey, vision out to 120. Never sleep on that.
What the hell are these things?
Gross.
Yeah, but like I'm getting like predator vibes.
1 second, I have to restart my roll 20 real quick. Something's going major wrong with my setup today, so bear with me a moment, please.
I thought he was gonna say I need to look up the stats for predator.
Imagine just like you see the little clicking sound and just all of our heads explode.
I'm getting
So-
cynic hybrid.
You watch Yachua lore is actually something that I know way too much about for any average normal person. So if anyone wants to know like the deep lore of the predators and their whole race and civilization, just let me know because like I know it all.
I would like to know
That
the
is-
lore of D&D and Yaksua.
That is super interesting.
They're actually a super advanced predator race, and they go from planet to planet to specifically look for the deadliest creature on that planet to hunt it, kill it, and bring the trophy back to their home planet. And
Awesome.
fun note, they actually like to seed planets with xenomorphs because xenomorphs are extremely dangerous predators, and so they will seed a planet with a xenomorph just so they can send a group of their predators there to wipe out the hive after the hive has basically wiped out the planet.
So they're just like really aggroed fishermen.
Yes, they are basically super aggro bass fishermen.
It gets worse when they do the whole suicide bombing thing when they know they're not winning.
Right, yeah, it's because, you know, they can't go home after losing.
Right.
Like, it's a complete dishonor to them. They fight until they're defeated, and when they're defeated, they take out anyone that they can with them. There has been 3 humans throughout history that have been initiated into Yuacha culture, and you usually do that by killing a Yuacha.
Right. I think I've only seen the one from the movie, the black lady. I forgot her name, but I think that's the only one I know of.
Danny DeVito. No, not Danny DeVito.
Whoa.
Danny DeVito killed
I think it's Danny Glover.
Danny
Wasn't it?
Glover.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
I
confused
respect-
Danny
But now that I've
DeVito
said
with,
it, I can't take
Arnold
that back. Danny
Schwarzenegger
DeVito
because
has
they're
killed
twins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just started
so
blasting.
it looks like it was just my it looks like it was just my
Blasting.
extensions that were messing with me again this time, so it looks like we're good to go.
Awesome.
Yep, and the music's back and everything. Nice, awesome.
I'm just gonna say I want Danny DeVito to be part of the Yaksua.
Okay,
Billy Alien's badass.
Okay.
so our familiars get to act first.
Right.
E is up.
That.
He learns of these things for disturbing his rest.
Of course he does.
So he flies over here to Big Boy and just starts screaming at him. Basically giving the help action if anyone needs it.
Oh man, that just made it so much funnier. I pictured E using a human scream at that time.
Okay. Flinch.
Okay. I just want to do this for the lulz. Flinch seeing E going straight after the big one, will fly straight at the big one and just stab him with his tail. Wait, let me see. Oh, that's weird. There it is. It's a crit! What the hell?
Oh shit,
Too
okay.
bad you already used your inspiration.
No,
E is
no,
giving
E-
advantage
E-
for the next attack.
Yeah!
So it's
Oh.
familiar fight, so it's crit.
Oh,
Go ahead and
shit.
roll the damage.
Yes, sir! Wait, okay,
Well then.
Wait. how did I
Imagine if
roll
it falls asleep.
Click
Shoot.
Sting, it should pop up.
I did click Sting. It just does the attack, no?
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
So 9 piercing and a DC 11 con save.
Alright, so 9 piercing damage in total. That's awesome. he just comes up trying to attack us, and it's just a bat and a flying dragon. Just
It does get
flies right
it does get a 19 on its con save.
Oh, that'll be so
Aw.
funny. I swear, one of these games, Flynn's gonna take somebody out
Right.
with poison. Oh my god, that was a natural 22 as well. Okay, yeah, that's Flinch's turn.
Okay. Wyatt.
Wyatt's going to go to the one that just opened its mouth in front of his face and just like
Nah.
shove his hand down his mouth.
Nice.
Wow, that's something. Insert dirty joke here.
I'm a roll with my inspiration on that one. 19 to hit.
11 hits.
I didn't know that, so I'm still gonna use my inspiration.
Okay.
9 bludgeoning, 12 necrotic,
Nice.
and as my bonus action, I'm holding on to its throat.
Ugh. So those mandibles are like slapping on the sides of your arms.
I immediately look back at Bones and go, "Is this Bone Daddy?"
Sean, was Frederick in the turn order?
I don't see you. Go ahead and roll. What was your your original initiative?
Give me a second. I rolled a...
Frederick, a 13.14.
Yeah, 13.14. You want to roll again?
Yep.
Okay.
Change that.
Oh, wow, 20.
So, one of the creatures from down here comes rushing up. And first thing it's going to do is it rears down almost like it's crouching and then opens its mandibles wide and lets loose this keening, shrieking sound. Almost sounds like whales communicating deep under the water, but the sound is so intense that it immediately begins to hurt. And I need everybody to make wisdom saves, please. Everybody but the familiars.
Oof. I'm rolling horribly tonight. Oh, there we go.
Frederick and Dandy, you are both stunned.
Does the Steel Defender need to make a wisdom save as well?
Is it immune to psychic damage?
So does stun mean we can't take our turn?
I will show you right now.
Oh, sorry.
It doesn't say anything about being immune to. It's immune to charmed, exhaustion, and poison. So it can still take psychic damage, then I guess.
Okay, so yeah, then it does have to take it. Does have to make it.
Okay.
Right.
All right,
I'll have to change
so
that. It's
can't
exceeded.
move, but can.
He's
Uh,
incapacitated. I think this will be a better one to show.
I'm not sure where to change for it to only roll.
Can't take actions and reactions.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Dandy. It feels like that's been happening to you a lot lately.
There you go.
It's okay.
Stun locks. Gotta hate them.
It's totally fine.
I should fix that.
Okay, so that is its turn, bringing us to Brevin. So Dandy and Frederick are both stunned.
Yes.
Reverend scowls, stares at these two here to the south, including the one who just opened its mouth. It just yells out, "Is that the best you've got?" And he is going to.
Don't encourage him.
He's going to slap a shatter spell on these two here and just center it where it only hits, where it's not hitting any allies.
Which one?
The ones up down to the south here,
Got it.
including the one who just opened his mouth.
All right. Man, roll 20 is not my friend this evening, unfortunately. None of my.
So, how
effects
long
are
does
showing.
stun roll or stun last?
It lasts until the start of the creature's next turn.
Oh, okay. That's gonna hurt.
So in exchange, he gave them a sphere of what sounds about like a banshee wails from a graveyard surrounding
Okay.
them.
Oh, right. So just screech right back at him. Nice. DC 13 for 17 damage.
I'm going to have a DC 16 and 7 extra for the.
Oh, geez. That's my bad. I'll go ahead
It
and
should be
make those
20
saves.
total
I
because it's
misread
a
that.
higher pass.
So
'Cause
DC
it's second level
16
spell.
for
Yeah.
how much total damage? 17 plus 13?
Uh,
30?
Oh no, that's for some reason that's just if I have my agonizing blast thing going, so it goes
Just-
to 10. The 7's because it's a higher level cast because I have to cast it at the highest level. So 13 plus 7, 20.
Okay, it is still one failure, one success.
Okay, so success takes half damage.
Okay. Okay. So it looks like I need to restart my other Roll20 screen as well, everybody. Just give me one moment. We'll be back into this.